Right? Is there the chart system? How do you grade a player? You know, on this, you put down how fast he can run the 40, of course his weight and height and that sort of thing.
Well, yeah, a lot of the attributes that, like I said a moment ago, that are obvious. You've got to know how fast a guy can run and how big he is. Then some of the things that aren't obvious at all are little items like agility and balance and quickness, and this is where a trained eye comes in. And a lot of these fellows here that are scouting that you see behind me are much better at this sort of thing than I would be now, because they've been looking at so many athletes for so many years. And they learn how to watch how a fellow comes out of his stance and then to tell a lot about him. And these are the things that I'm having to learn.
Bill, as you look at this simple drop-back type drill, can you tell a lot about a player?
Surprisingly, you really can, Lee. You watch these fellas, they're required to demonstrate how well they move their feet in response to a given stimulus, which obviously is a thrown football in this case. And you can tell how a fellow reacts, how his balance is, just to some extent. You can tell about his foot quickness and things like that.
Looking for in these practices and then the game? Are you going to just kind of topping on a cake or what?
Right, you see, you spread it over 3 or 4 months that we've looked at them, including the spring also before we came in here. So it's pretty much a last look before you begin to talk with your coaches on the, on the final appraisal of everybody. So it's a very beneficial as far as we're concerned, because you get to see the real good athletes and compare them to each other, as opposed to seeing them spread out across the country over a couple of weeks or a couple of months.
Being with a championship team like Pittsburgh, do you feel you're in an envious position to go out and search for new